Good morning, everybody. So we've talked a lot about the Internet of Things and the data that's involved with Internet, and I just want to focus a little bit about RFID and what that means to retail, and also what that means to brand owners and suppliers, particularly as we look at omni-channel. This word omni-channel, some people call it click and collect, but it's now using the internet to order items and products from something simple like a handheld device, and then expecting those items to be delivered to your door in a very reasonably short time, or to be able to go on and pick up those items at a store within the next few days. And the challenge that's presented to the logistics operations of this world in executing and supplying against that message are quite dramatic. But RFID works in both ways in terms of helping the product to be on shelf, and also helping the logistics people to manage the execution of the omni-channel message. So I'll be as quick as I can, and I know we're running short of time, so I'm not going to labour on all of these slides. In fact, I'll flick through some of them very, very fast. SML, first of all, we are a global company headquartered right here in Hong Kong. We provide labels for garments, and nowadays we provide RFID-enabled labels for garments. We have a range of global customers, and we offer a full range of bundled solutions, hardware and software solutions. And as I just said, we operate literally all over the world. And so I just mentioned a moment ago retail, and retailers were the first people to, or the first end of the supply chain, if I should say, to become involved in RFID. Retailers looked at the benefits of using RFID-enabled technology and placing it inside of a label, and then saying, well, how can we make those items smart and intelligent? And basically, the idea was to take the barcode and make it more intelligent with an RFID chip. And by doing that, we added some additional memory to a chip that you couldn't really place on a barcode, and we are able then to identify an individual item as it moves through the supply chain. And the benefits for those retailers are fairly well understood these days. Goods receiving in the back of the goods area, and then on shelf counting very fast. In fact, I just came over this week from the RFID Journal live show in Orlando, and I saw there a robot reader being demonstrated, going up and down the shelves in the retail stores, reading RFID items on goods with a robot. And we can see these various applications and benefits to retail store applications, all the way through now to loss prevention and electronic article surveillance applications, all being driven by RFID. So right product, right time, right place has been the holy grail for the retailers, and using RFID over the past few years has extended and expanded on that message, making sure that the right product is in place when the customer wants it. The green dress at the right size, or that lady will walk away and the sale is lost. Loss prevention now becomes a real opportunity for item level driven units. RFID will trigger EAS alarms, and when it triggers an alarm, not only will it trigger an alarm, but it will also gather the data of that item that's actually being stolen and present a report on that data. So all of these benefits I think we know, and I think we've talked about for a lot in these type of conferences, And we've talked about brand protection, and I heard that mentioned on the panel just a few moments ago. New chips are coming into the market just this year, which enable more memory and finally give us the opportunity to write specific information to a chip, which is focused just specifically on brand protection. So that's no longer just coming, it's already here. And now I look at brand owners and the supplier community benefits. And what does the Internet of Things and using the Internet actually bring to the brand owners? And when I'm here in Asia, I often find myself talking to vendors, suppliers, manufacturers, brands. When I'm in the West, I often talk to the retailers. But the brand owners are often forgotten. They're told what to do by the retailers, and they're not really explained what's the return on investment for a brand owner. What we see with the mass adoption of RFID, the item level data capture and item level visibility can now start to bring a lot of benefits to the supply chain itself. In bulk finished goods, in all types of garments on hangers, in-store operations. There are many, many areas where items are now being tagged, and those tags are moving through the supply chain. And just by incorporating various amounts of sensors and readers, it's now the opportunity for the brand owners and suppliers to be able to gather that data and start using it themselves. And that data can be used for inventory visibility, knowing what have I got, in which warehouse, in which distribution center, at what time of the day, at what time of the week. And that's important. And I know you can't see this chart so much, but if I've got minimum, maximum levels, and I've got to manage my minimum stocking levels, then it would be really interesting for me, if I'm a logistics vice president, to be able to know if I'm reaching my minimum levels and what type of safety stocks do I need in order to avoid going below those minimum levels. Now, as I said earlier, the challenge in keeping those minimum levels up to a certain percentage is quite extraordinary now as the internet really takes off and people start ordering product from devices. When we look at supply chain, the University of Arkansas in America identified some 60 supply chain benefits. At SML, we really focus just on one or two right now. We talk about the automated counting of inbound and outbound stock. We talk about full item visibility for fast order fulfillment. And we talk about increased cycle counts to measure the safety stocks that we have within a particular supply chain or a logistics customer might have. Let's just look at two of these right now for brand owners. One of them is maintaining accurate deliveries. Now that items are being tagged, and those tags are moving through the supply chain, then we can start using automated counting of those items. Today, in areas where there may be, say, pick and scan and pack, it's very difficult to know that the items that are actually scanned and packed into cartons are accurate. And most often I found, in my experience, that there can be very high penalties for incorrect deliveries. Quite often, manufacturers either just don't count what's in and hope that for the best, that everything's delivered correctly, or there is a manual count of some of the items. So maybe 1 out of every 100 cases is diverted, unpacked and counted manually. With the introduction of RFID now, that whole counting experience can be automated. Just by passing those items past sensors, then all of those boxes can be counted very quickly and can provide for a 100% audit of inbound and outbound shipments. It can be done on a large scale, or there are things like bulk encoding and bulk reading devices, which can even work now in very small scale operations. And now we come to the Internet of Things, and using the Internet of Things for both the consumer and the brand owner. And managing, as I said earlier, the Internet of Things, managing items in the supply chain is becoming an increasingly difficult challenge. That it's not so easy to pass that problem on to somebody else. If you, the consumer, want to order an item on your iPad or your device, whichever you choose to use today, you want it delivered very quickly, tomorrow if possible. And if it's not tomorrow, maybe I'll go to another retailer and use their system. Well, imagine the challenge that a logistics operation has in making sure that they've got enough of the right product in the right place at the right time. That challenge became very real in the Christmas holiday period in America this last year, when deliveries were delayed and many people received their Christmas presents on Boxing Day or even the day after. And one of the reasons that it was found out by the National Retail Federation in looking at why these deliveries were so late was that there was a 40% increase in the number of people ordering items online just before Christmas in comparison to just 1 year before, 2012. And the retailers and logistics operations didn't know which items they had in which warehouse so that they could quickly divert the products from one warehouse to another and get them shipped and delivered to the retailers. Now, in the supply chain, RFID can provide visibility of items. And we can provide visibility using the internet. We use a backbone of the internet, and we can, with the internet, basically provide a channel whereby all of this data, as items move along the channel, can be gathered, whether that be shipping, whether that be receiving, or whether that be in manufacturing, distribution, or even in store. And as I said, one of the challenges is to make sure that the right item is in the right place. Another challenge is the cost involved of holding safety stocks to make sure that as a logistics operation, I have enough stock in the right place. Imagine the cost to a retailer who is turning over something like 1.5 billion Hong Kong dollars or even more. Imagine the cost of just even increasing their safety stocks by 1% per annum, just to make sure that I can manage on-time deliveries of items being ordered online. It's multi-million dollars. And with the new devices and with RFID, we're now able to provide for item visibility, using a channel that will gather data at various touch points, whether they be the manufacturer, the warehouse, the dispatch, the distributor, or the retail operation. All of that data now can be gathered, placed on a platform, and simply then managed to produce reports that, thanks to the internet, a user with a username and password can enter a cloud and bring down a report to show what amount of items have I got at any specific point of my supply chain on this particular day at 11:52 a.m. in the morning. And if I was able to check that once a week, every week, as a logistics operator, then I could say to myself, maybe I don't need 30% safety stock. Maybe I could reduce that down to 28% or even 29%. But just 1% reduction on safety stocks can save that logistics operation many, many millions of dollars. And that's what RFID is doing for brand owners today. Item visibility within the supply chain enables the brand owner to see what they've got, where it is, enabling them to make sure that they can execute against the message that they give. Order today, and we will deliver tomorrow, or you can pick up in your local store. And the only way to do that is to have item visibility of things as they move through the supply chain. And the internet enables it for us all. So knowing which items are at which locations aids logistics. It aids omni-channel, or as some people call it, click and collect. And it reduces the necessary need for high levels of safety stock. Thank you.